that is not available yet. On the other hand, we do have Vietnamese and Thai. So how do you access this translation? Um, if you go at the bottom of your video, of your whatever is your software, maybe you're using an app on your phone. So there should be something like show captions. So there should be a button, show captions. When you click on that, there will be a switch called translation. So if you click on translation, then you need to choose the language into which you want to have me translate it into. For example, you can choose Vietnamese. And then you have there also another thing to choose, and that's my speaking language, and that is English. So if you choose your translation and then you choose your my speaking language, then the captions, the subtitles should appear for you automatically. Am I saying it right? Okay. I am really curious to see if anybody here is now viewing the subtitles, the translation. If you do, can you please raise your Zoom hand? Okay. Anybody else is using the automatic translation through Zoom into Vietnamese or another language? So my sense is that potentially you don't really know that this possibility is there. And therefore, I would like to ask a Vietnamese speaking person to explain it in Vietnamese. Would we have somebody who can do that? Maybe Đường Thao or Chuông Diệu?
Yes, teacher, I will translate to others. Dạ thầy hỏi mọi người là mọi người có xem được cái lời ở dưới chỗ caption không ạ? Nếu như mà mọi người xem được thì bấm giơ tay để cho thầy biết. Còn nếu như mà mọi người có vấn đề thì cũng báo để cho thầy hướng dẫn lại ạ. Dạ, mình có xem được cái lời ở dưới thì mình giơ tay lên để cho thầy dễ biết ạ. Mọi người giơ tay lên đi ạ. Mình biết bấm không? Các cô biết bấm nếu như mà các cô các chị mọi người ở đây biết bấm. Mình sẽ bấm vô cái caption, cái CC đấy ạ. Thì mình bấm cái mũi tên thì nó sẽ có cái chỗ translation, thì cái chữ đó là mình bấm on, xong rồi speaking language là mình bấm English, bấm tiếng Anh, rồi caption language ở dưới đó là nó sẽ bấm, mình sẽ chọn là Vietnamese. Yeah, teacher, actually the translation in Vietnamese is not really correct. It's very bad, I think.
Oh, I see. So the fact that nobody could understand me when I was asking whether you are using the translation is because the translation, although being used, is actually not reliable. Is that correct?
Yes, teacher. Maybe it's just pronounced. It's just the caption is just follow your um, the pronunciation of English, not translate exactly from English to Vietnamese.
Mhm.
Just yeah, it's just showing the pronunciation of your English to Vietnamese, how to pronounce it. That's it. I think
Aha,
that
so that means it is actually not translated.
yeah,
So I
it's
would
just
like to ask maybe Mariana like to better explain how that works, because I'm wondering whether you have the switch of translation and selected correctly the speaking language and the translation. Let me see. I can try it for myself from English to French and see myself whether I'm actually getting translated. And yes, it actually works for me. It actually works for me. If I turn on the switch called translation, then I choose under translation as French, and then I go to my speaking language, I choose English, and then I choose my caption language as French. Then I actually see very well translated what I say into French. I'm seeing it here in front of me, and it's excellent. So I'm wondering whether you have set up both of the languages. You need to set up the original language and the translation language as well.
yes, I think that is okay from my side. I can see that is translated into Vietnamese correctly.
Oh, now it works.
Yeah, no, it was. So
Okay.
I think that we could choose another way, like the picture that Mr. Wang just sent on in the chat box. You can see we select the show original and translated captions also. Then it should be better. Dạ
So
các
can you please
cô.
guide them? Yes.
Dạ. Các cô hoặc dạ các thành viên trong lớp mình mà muốn xem tiếng Việt thì mình sẽ theo cái hướng dẫn ở trong hình á, ở trong chat box có anh Quang Trần ảnh có chụp cái hình đấy ạ. Mình sẽ chọn cái chỗ mà caption and translation ấy, là mình sẽ bấm nút màu xanh mở lên. Speaking language là mình chọn tiếng Anh là English, rồi caption language là mình chọn Vietnamese, giống đó là cái dòng thứ ba. Tiếp theo cái dòng thứ tư, dòng thứ năm á, là mình sẽ bấm chọn là Show Original and Translated Caption, và mọi người xem thử là mình đã ok chưa.
Yeah, I also have some in English version.
So there are three things that need to be set up: the translation, my speaking language, and my caption language. So, Jongyu, now it works well for you. Do you feel like it's translating well?
Yeah, I think that is pretty good now, but
Okay.
someone said that it's too fast, so cannot read it.
Okay, so that kind of problem we won't be able to
Right.
resolve on my side. However, it shows a lot of text, so it like builds up. Therefore, even if I am too fast, it should be fine. Does it show for you only tiny little piece by piece, or does it like build up for you? So even if you're slow, you can read.
There is also another option called transcript. So when you turn on the transcript, you can still see all the, yeah, all the, I think, yeah, I will send it to you. in the screenshot. So you can catch up everything what our teacher says.
Dạ, mọi người có thể chọn cái chính tính năng đó là nó ờ, thể hiện toàn bộ cái lời của thầy á, là nó sẽ thể hiện qua bên khung bên trái là transcript á, là mình sẽ thấy được, mình sẽ đọc từ từ được ạ. Cho nên là mình có thể xem đọc theo dần, chứ không không nhất thiết là mình sẽ dạ ok ạ. Dạ rồi, mình ai ai còn thấy nhanh quá thì có thể chọn cái phần mà show full transcript ạ, là thể hiện cả toàn bộ cái lời á, thì nó sẽ ok hơn là so với cái việc là mình để ở dưới cái dưới cùng á, nó sẽ hơi nhiều và nó nhanh ạ. Dạ, ai cần hỗ trợ nữa thì mình có thể nhắn vào chat ạ.
Okay. As soon as you become successful, can you please raise your Zoom hand so that we see how many people are actually using the feature? Yeah, now you understand me, right? Even if you don't understand in English, because it works. Awesome. Okay. So that seems to be nice. I'm wondering how about the others? For example, Yanlang definitely will need a translation. So far, I've been using very simple basic English, but when it comes to Jatakas, I may be using much harder expressions. So I'm wondering if Yongyu would like to take would like to write down some of the names of the people here who you may like to contact later and maybe help them separately, or just take a screenshot and then help them so that next time they can follow easily.
Oh, you mean that we can support them later, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. So that means we can probably move on to the next thing. During this course, which will have only 15 meetings, and today is one of them, so we will have 14 more meetings. Each meeting will be taking 1 hour. And during that 1 hour, we will be discussing one or several jatakas. What are jatakas? Jatakas are stories of a Buddha's previous birth. In Theravada Buddhism, we believe that these stories, that these births really happened. Okay, and we are quite strict about that. Indeed, the Buddha in his past life really went through this experience that is described in the story called Jataka. So Jata itself, or Jati is more accurate. Jati as the Pali word means birth, and Jataka then is the word for the story of a birth. We have altogether 547 Jatakas, not 550. Some people are wondering whether there actually were 550. That means we would have lost 3 Jataka stories during the course of history. And there are even some suggestions on how these missing 3 Jatakas were called. On the other hand, the Buddha himself did not say, "Dear monks, I will now teach you 550 Jatakas or 547 Jatakas." So the Buddha himself did not actually count the number of Jatakas he told, and therefore I believe it's also possible that the Buddha told only 547. So this is a kind of topic for discussion. We will not be discussing that kind of thing. We will be discussing specific jatakas and the themes in there. For example, one jataka that we will start with, and that is sometimes discussed, is Kantivadi Jataka. Kantivadi Jataka, number 313. So when I say Jataka and number, it's the number out of the 547. Okay, so 313 is a number of a Jataka. And in this Kantivadi Jataka, we learn about an ascetic who taught loving kindness, a teacher of loving kindness. He was approached by the concubines, or let's say wives of a king, and the king was jealous, and then he killed the ascetic. Now, the way how the king killed the ascetic is very special, is very interesting. So some people are discussing, is it true? Did the king really kill the ascetic? So for example, in our next meeting, when we discuss Kantivadi Jataka, we will be not discussing only the story, which I will provide you with, and also I will add some insights from commentary to Jatakas, a very interesting scripture that I found in a tiny little monastery hidden in northwestern Myanmar. The scripture is entirely in Pali, but using the Burmese script, the Burmese writing, Burmese letters. So using insights from this very special book, exegesis, I will be providing you with additional resources and additional information from parts of the Buddhist canon that you can use for better understanding of the original story. And then after discussing or sharing with you whatever are the details related to that one or two jatakas, if it is very short, like Kantivadi Jataka, we will probably take two during that one class. Then we will have at least 15 minutes to answer questions. So then if you have any questions, I will do my best to answer them. And then that's it. So we will be here 45 minutes discussing one or two jatakas, and then 15 minutes we'll have questions and answers. I will, of course, be available by email. So if you have some additional questions for which we did not have time, and we will always move on with the next meeting. So if there is something more I wanted to tell you and I could not because of the time constraint, I will write it down and send it to you by email. And if there is something more you really wanted to ask, but again, you could not because the time was enough, you can send me an email. We will be using a WhatsApp group. I'm wondering whether the group already exists. Can you please tell us whether
We
the group
haven't
exists?
had any WhatsApp group yet. Maybe after
The
this
group.
session, like later, I will create it.
Thank you so much. So we will create a WhatsApp group. If you do not have a WhatsApp application, then please install it. I would like to ask Deng Tao to please kindly share some kind of guidelines on how to install WhatsApp on phones, computers through Zalo, especially for those who do not speak in English and cannot understand easily. And then in that WhatsApp group, you can also share some insights and ideas, but we will most importantly share there some additional information, such as, for example, some additional details or resources that I could not share during the principal meeting, the main meeting. The book that I wish you everybody have is in English, obviously. And this book is the Jataka commentary. So we have Jataka as the main scripture. These are verses that the Buddha originally said. And then we have commentary, which is an expanded version of the story that the Buddha said, and we to be actually coming from the Buddha's time. So one way or another, it is believed that the Buddha taught the full story, but somehow what we have today as the Buddha's original words are the verses, and then the full story is given in the so-called commentary. So the commentary are additional explanations, etymology, historical, and philosophical details that accompany what the Buddha said when the Buddha was alive. And these additional explanations are kept as separate books, as separate scriptures. So the original words of are known as Pali or Mula, which means root. And then we have the commentary, the additional information, which we know as Atthakatha. So we have this way Mula and Atthakatha, the original scripture Mula and the commentary Atthakatha. And these are widely available, translated into many languages, probably to your language as well. But then we also have sub-commentary. Sub-commentary are explanations that accompany the commentary. So this way you can think of them as 3 tiers. You have the original words of the Buddha, then you have the commentary, and then you have the sub-commentary, third tier. And because it's a third tier or third level of translation, of the Buddha's teaching, it is called tika. Tika means third. You have heard the word tatiya as third, but in terms of scripture, it is called tika. And tika, official tika, that would be recognized as the historical sub-commentary to Jatakas, does not exist. Okay, sub-commentary to Jatakas in Pali language that would be easily available in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, or elsewhere does not exist. But we do have sub-commentary to Jatakas written by Burmese masters. And this is the sub-commentary that I found in the hidden tiny little monastery's library. And I was given a special permission to scan these books and to keep them. So that's how I have those books. And that's the resource that we will be using in addition to the widely available Mula, the original scripture, and the commentary, the Atthakatha. So the insights that I will be sharing with you, which I believe are the very special feature of these meetings, are from the sub-commentary. Okay, so that is actually everything I wanted to share with you, and also our time is up. If you have any questions, please react to an email that you will be receiving after this meeting, which will summarize what we talked about. We'll be sending you summaries of each lesson, so you have a better understanding of what happened and maybe can refer to it later. So you can react to that email with any additional questions, concerns, or request for help, even technical help. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here today. I hope to see you again next week. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be successful in everything you do.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you next week.
Bye. See you soon.
Thank you, teacher.